I sensed the shift the moment she laughed. Not the warm, spontaneous laugh of someone truly happy, but a sharp, cutting one that hinted at disdain. A silent signal that I no longer commanded her respect. "If you're going to run around with him, I'm leaving," I said, my voice low, deliberate, heavy enough to hang in the still air of our kitchen. She tilted her head slightly, eyes glinting with a mix of amusement and challenge. "Leaving where?" she teased, lips curling into a half-smile that made my chest tighten. That instant, though I didn't fully grasp it at the time, marked the beginning of the cracks in our foundation. The days that followed blurred together, a strange cocktail of denial and creeping suspicion. Anna maintained her routines, kisses on the cheek, questions about my day, but her phone became a barrier I couldn't penetrate. Her laughter, once so familiar, felt distant, almost rehearsed. The way she dressed began to change, more calculated, bolder, as if she were sending messages without speaking. I tried to convince myself it was just a phase, that she was reclaiming a sense of freedom, that I was imagining trouble where there was none. But shadows don't announce themselves. They slowly engulf you until you're realizing you've been sitting in darkness all along. One night, she told me she was going out for drinks with co-workers. I stayed behind, sitting in our living room with the TV murmuring softly. Time crawled past, 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, midnight. I sent a simple message. "Everything okay?" 10 minutes later a reply arrived. "Yeah, don't wait up. I'll crash at Claire's." Claire, her ever-reliable alibi. Yet Claire's Instagram told a completely different story. Photos of her curled up at home with her dog, cozy and innocent. My chest tightened painfully as I stared at the screen, my hand trembling so much I nearly dropped my phone. That night, something inside me fractured. The fragile thread of trust one had clung to, shredded in an instant. The next morning, I forced a calm facade. "How was Claire's?" I asked, trying to sound casual as I spread butter on toast I couldn't stomach. "Good," she said too quickly, a flicker of unease in her tone. I caught myself observing everything. The way her phone never left her hand, the way she lingered in the bathroom just long enough for hushed conversations, the faint scent of unfamiliar cologne that clung to her clothes. Then came the inevitable reveal. One evening, her phone lit up on the counter while she showered. A name flashed across the screen. Daniel. My heart pounded so violently I thought the neighbors might hear it. I didn't touch the phone. I didn't need to. The truth was already clear. Yet knowing is far easier than accepting. A few days later, I confronted her. "Who's Daniel?" My voice was flat, my eyes fixed on hers. For a brief second, her carefully maintained mask faltered, revealing a flicker of panic before she composed herself. "He's just a friend from work," she said. I leaned closer, forcing her to see the anguish etched on my face. "Friends don't send messages at 2 a.m. She crossed her arms, defiant. "You're being paranoid," she said. Perhaps I was, I whispered to myself. But I was no fool. The breaking point came on a Saturday. She claimed she was going shopping, but I followed, heart thudding and hands gripping the steering wheel until they went numb. I watched as she parked in a small cafe lot. And there he was, Daniel, tall, sharp-featured, radiating a confidence that made my stomach twist. Her face lit up when she saw him, glowing in a way I hadn't seen in months. Then the kiss, quick, secretive, yet undeniable. It felt like someone had ripped my heart from my chest. When she returned home later with shopping bags, I was waiting. "How was shopping?" I asked, deliberately calm. She blinked, startled, then forced a smile. "Good. Found a few things." I let my words land slowly. "Did Daniel help you pick them out?" The color drained from her face. Silence swallowed the room. And finally she snapped. "So what if I did? Maybe I deserve to feel wanted again." Her words cut deeper than any blade. Deserve. Wanted. As if the years of love, loyalty, sacrifices, and effort I poured into us meant nothing. I walked past her, each step heavier than the last, to the closet. I pulled down my old suitcase and set it on the bed. She stared, wide-eyed. "What are you doing?" "What I said I would," I replied, voice trembling but resolute. "If you run around with him, I'm leaving." She scoffed, but the tremor in her voice betrayed her. I zipped the suitcase shut, a final, irrevocable sound. like a door slamming on the life we once shared. The hardest part wasn't leaving. It was the silence that followed. Lying alone in a rented apartment, memories haunted me. Every laugh, every whispered promise. Love doesn't disappear overnight. It lingers like a ghost in every corner. I wanted to hate her. Yet a part of me still remembered the girl who once looked at me like I was everything. Questions plagued me endlessly. Was I not enough? Did I fail to see her needs? Did she ever truly love me? Or was I merely a chapter in her search for more? Weeks later, she reached out, a text, then a call. I made a mistake, she whispered, voice raw. He means nothing. Please come back. But home wasn't a place anymore. It had become a memory, consumed by the moment she mocked my warning. I had meant every word. I replied quietly, and you didn't believe me. The silence that followed was heavier than any farewell. Sometimes betrayal isn't loud. It doesn't always shatter plates or erupt in shouting. Sometimes, it's a closed suitcase and a heart refusing to be broken again. I had warned her. She had mocked me. In the end, I kept my promise.